Cowboys and Cowgirls, Regan, aka Wannabe Cowboy, here in collaboration with Live in the Living Room. And I am joined probably by my favourite country music Viking, Adam Brucass. Adam, welcome back to the show. It's been a while since we've had you on, and it's
It's
been a
been
while
fun.
since I've got to chat to you. For those that are watching the show and may have never heard of you or may have seen your name on the country calling poster, which we're going to chat about, think, oh, who is this person? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, you've covered a decent chunk of it. Viking Cowboy is definitely my favorite way of putting it. I think I coined that after spotting it in guys like Chris Stapleton. I was like, yeah, that's got a ring to it. I think I'll roll with that. Yeah, I guess I would say I'm a country artist. I think it's important to leave it up to other people to decide that. But with marketing being what it is, sometimes you have to make the decision to brand yourself a little bit. So, country artist currently residing in Kings Lynn in Norfolk, although I was born and raised in Essex. Um, and I mean, that's the basics of it.
That's you in a nutshell, really, isn't it? That's the thing.
Pretty much,
With,
pretty
like you
much.
say, brand yourself in country music. Like country music now is such a broad term for the genre because there's so
Well,
many
this is the thing. Yeah,
variations of music.
this is what I've been saying to people, is that it's not as simple as just what is and isn't country now. It's such a wide genre. But I think if I went up to any of the guys that I look up to who are country artists from across the pond, guys like Luke Combs or Justin Moore, someone like that, and introduce myself as a country artist, I'd probably get laughed out the room. So I don't know. I think I just sort of accept that I have a country influence and
Well,
roll with it from there.
again, that's the thing. There's a lot of people that people listen to that others will say that's not country because again, there's so many subgenres.
Oh, people love to. People love
Country
to
pop,
say what
country
isn't.
rock, folk country, jazz country, blues countries. It's all the range. But
Yeah,
so for people that don't know, obviously this time last year around it, you released your first album called Right
I
Now.
did. I
How
did. It was a
so we're a year on from the album now. In the case of performing those songs, if you haven't listened to it, stream it on Spotify. It's a great album. This man doesn't look it, but he's got an incredible voice. I was lucky enough, to, obviously, to meet you at Alan Finland's headline gig.
Yeah, oh,
Feels
what a
like a
great
year ago,
show.
but it was only in February. How time flies, but
I think we've both done a lot since then, so it's
yeah,
going to
it's been
feel.
crazy. But for yourself, then, how have you found, since the album's come out, your music creativity? Have you got songs in the pipeline that are coming up and you're working on, or is it
I
very
mean,
much
it's been a weird one. It's been a strange year because obviously, for anyone that will listen, I will tell them that the road to finishing the album was exhausting for me. It took a couple of years. It took, at this point, more money than I'm prepared to calculate. And it was exhausting, to actually get it done, not just the creative process of it, but there were so many, delays and things like that by the time the record was actually done, I'd spent so long worrying about getting it finished that I'd kind of forgotten to enjoy the process of recording an album, and
yeah,
I sort of realized how disappointed I should be with myself. If I told, 15-year-old me that I'd be recording a whole album of my own songs, he'd think it was amazing, and at the time, I don't remember feeling like that. I was just desperate to get it finished and get it out there. And then once it was out, all that weight was kind of lifted. The hard work is meant to start then, but I was just so burnt out from recording that I was just happy to have it finished. I put it out to the world and said, all right, it is what it is.
yeah,
Um, and since then, I just sort of I pumped the brakes a little bit. I decided to try and enjoy things for what they are, try and get back to enjoying playing live shows for fun, and writing and recording music for myself and for the reasons that I started doing it in the first place, and not just to have something to post on Instagram.
yeah, of course.
So it's been a strange year, but the creativity hasn't stopped. Like you said, we've been busy. We've been playing a lot of shows, and I'm writing new stuff already. I cut a new single just a few weeks ago, and I'm really looking forward to getting that out there. I've got some big plans for that, but that's all a little bit hush hush for now. But
That's
I'll get
fine.
on.
They heard it here first that Summit's coming, so I'm sure your fans that will be watching this will be thinking
Yeah,
oh, for it to come out. But
it
I
might be a
know,
little while till it comes,
yeah,
but yeah.
I've known you. You're a show themed. You love performing live. I always see you and your guitarist out and about. always on your Instagram, always on your Facebook. You know, the pictures you see you enjoying yourself is great, but going on to live shows. Come this time, well, when you're watching this, it's Monday before Country to Calling. So, how are you feeling knowing that you're going to be performing at Country to Calling for its first ever festival and you're in that lineup? It must be a surreal feeling to be included in, a brand new festival, which is attracting a lot of attention.
It's pretty cool, like I say, seeing the lineup come together for any kind of show that you're on like that is always interesting. You're looking for names that you recognize and ones that you don't, and either artists that you enjoy or artists that you know personally, so it's always interesting watching the list kind of unravel as time goes on. Yeah, we're playing the VIP lounge, so we're doing an acoustic set, and not really sure what to expect from the day, to be honest. I think it's only going to be quite a short set. But at this point, as you said, me and Corey, my guitarist, who he's been a lifesaver. He came obviously with me to Alan's show
Yeah,
earlier in the year. Um,
famous,
we
famous beard and mohawk.
Yeah, the beard, and I think he was wearing a hat for that show, so you probably didn't get to see the mohawk in its glory. But sometimes he gets that out. But we've been playing so much recently, and the whole idea of doing this, because we do covers as well, the whole idea of doing that was so that when shows like this come up, we can just be ready for it. There's not really a lot in the way of nerves. It's no different from what we're used to.
Be
So
small
getting to a show like
prep
that,
for the big one.
yeah, the more comfortable we are and the more prepared we are in the craft, the easier it is to go and make the best of a big opportunity like that. And that's the most important thing.
Oh yeah, fully. It's always preparing yourself, for the next big thing. And this festival coming up, it's been talked, word of mouth all over the place, socials and stuff. Everyone are really excited for it. And again, you know, you will probably, I can imagine you'll have fans there that are coming to see you in that VIP. They may have seen that your name's on there and they're like, hey, I want to go see Adam. But
I'm hoping so. It'll be
you'll
nice
make
to see familiar
a
faces.
strong feeling. You're going to make some new fans as well. These festivals are great for networking, not only to new artists, for yourself, but just meeting people that love country music and love your music. So I guess it's that internal feeling of I just can't wait to play. It kind of bubbles up, I imagine, until show day. You're like, right, can't wait to perform.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's for me, it's all about meeting people, and there's the most fun you can have is watching people's faces while you're playing and picking out who you think might be someone worth talking to after the show, and then getting to speak to those people after the show as well that have enjoyed themselves. It's great, and I like to try and sweeten the deal a little bit. In fact, just next to me there is a whole stack of bits of new merch with the new logo on it, which is all we give it all away as freebies. So it's a great way to get people enticed a little bit. The bank account doesn't think so, but it's one of those things. It's
Love
like
the
business,
game.
a loss leader. So,
Yeah,
and
it's
it gets
love the
people
game.
talking. Absolutely. But we gave away a whole stack of stuff. We were at Rock and Ribs Festival in Somerset just a couple of weeks back, and we gave away a whole bunch of stuff at that show, and a lot of people appreciate it. A lot of people came out to, follow the Instagram page and the Facebook page and stuff after that, and start streaming the music, which is what it's all about.
No, yeah, of course. That's the thing. You want to build your fan base as much and interacting with the people. That's what we love these sort of festivals because you have your bigger festivals where the artists kind of get shied away and you can't really talk to them or see them. But, getting the personal interactions with artists is what makes memories for people.
Exactly. If you go to a show where you see somebody that you enjoy and you get to meet them, you're going to remember that. And it's, for me personally, it would definitely make me more inclined to follow that artist and care about what they're doing.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, we know you're excited for Country Calling. Is there any other plans in the pipeline for you after this festival? We are in pretty much the peak, coming festival season.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it's all going by so quickly. We had a handful of shows that we were gearing up for the summer, and we've done like half of them already. And I was saying to the guys, it's like Christmas. It's all this build up for months on end. Waiting for the show and rehearsals and stuff. You get up on stage, you play the set in 45 minutes. It feels like 5 minutes, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So I think after Country Calling, we've got Rockin' the Country Festival I think that's in Cambridgeshire. So that should be fun. We've been kind of on their radar for a little while, and that's quite local to us as well, being
That's
in
good. Then,
Norfolk.
local act.
Yeah, a little bit of local support, and we don't have to travel 6 hours to get there, which is
Yeah,
always
cool.
nice. So we're looking forward to that one. That's main stage, so that should be a lot of fun. Um, I mean, when it comes to festivals, I'm always very eager to get out and play as many as I can. Obviously, with regards to having a band behind me playing the songs, these poor guys are doing me a huge favor, and I'm effectively employing them, for lack of a better word, which means we have to be a bit selective with what we can afford to do because I can't expect these guys to travel for free and stuff. But aside from that, I'm always the one sending out care packages and trying to crawl my way into festival lineups that I maybe have no business being a
If
part
it
of. Just
works, if it works, it works.
it's worked so far, It's if you can get the attention, then it's definitely worth it. But it's fun, being attached to guys like you say, Alan Finlan, who has obviously started making quite a name for himself at a lot of big festivals like Long Road and shows like that I'd really like to be a part of. And we talk as well, we have the same complaints when a festival brings their lineup out and neither of us is on it. We
Yeah,
we
I
both
can
say
imagine. Yeah,
grumble about it, but we look forward to the day that we might be able to sort of celebrate together when we are on it. So
well, that's a perfect, perfectly leads into my next really final question for you, then, Adam. So we all know you can't spell country without try. So Adam Brucass, where are you trying to get to in country music?
I mean, it's difficult to really sort of nail it down because the landscape is changing so much and so rapidly. And even if you're talking about shows specifically, there are ones that I'd like to be on, but again, the landscape with live performances and festivals at the moment is so volatile and fragile that so many of these shows are disappearing. But I'd love to get to the Long Road Festival. I'd like to to Country Festival. Whether it be London or Glasgow or wherever. Um, and I think Black Deer Festival is one that would be cool, assuming that it does come back. I know we're all sort of sitting, crossing our fingers that it does return next year in full. But it's definitely one that I'd like to be a part of, and just at the moment it's just about being on the lineup and having your name on the poster, and that's all that really matters for now. As much as we'd like to
Well, no,
get out there.
yeah, you've said it perfectly well. Your goal is, get yourself out there more and play more of these festivals, and that's what it's about. It's about building your brand. It's about building a persona and
Absolutely,
getting your
yeah.
name out there. But that's all the time we have today, I'm afraid, Adam. It's
No worries,
great to
man.
catch
Thank
up
you so
again. So
much.
I'm going to give this last, couple of minutes to yourself. Any shout outs you wish to do, where can people find you? Let them know.
All right. Well, as you said, we're going to be at Country Calling on Sunday, the 17th. That's Highlands Park in Chelmsford, I believe it is. That should be fun. We're going to be a Rockin' the Country Festival I think it's in the town of March in the month of September, not to get those two
Okay.
confused. We've got a live show with the full band at HMV store in Norwich in November. I forget the date for that one, but luckily Corey is the guy keeping the dates in the book and not me. And keep an eye out for the new single because there's going to be hopefully some news coming about that quite soon.
Well, Adam, it's been great to chat to you and great to catch up as normal. For those people, obviously, that don't know, you can find Adam on social media, Adam Brucass Music, on Spotify, Adam Brucass. Go check his stuff out. He deserves everything that we can throw at him. Let's get him to Long Road and let's hopefully get him to C2C one day. But Adam, again, it's been a privilege to talk to you. I hope I get to see you perform live again, just like you did
You
with Alan.
again, man. It's
But
been a pleasure.
I've been Regan, aka Wannabe Cowboy, in the collaboration with Live in the Living Room, and we will see you on the next episode. Goodbye.